Hello and welcome to this edition of Wolfsberg Window. We've had the pleasure of having with us at Wolfsberg Dr. Michael Jackson, the person who's chairman of Shaping Tomorrow, a company that's looking at the future and helping companies to become much more intelligent about the ways they think about the future, with us. And Dr. Jackson ran a Wolfsberg think tank on the topic, Today's New Landscape for Business Growth. Michael, what are the constituents, what are the elements of today's new landscape for business growth?
My personal view is that we have to become more forward-thinking. We have to start thinking about the world in a different way and not looking at the next 3 months' profits, not looking at what we're doing today, but looking for better solutions to the way we think about things. And the multinational corporations, those that are forward-thinking, do tend to take a more 5, 10, 15, even 20 or 25-year approach to thinking about how they're going to address some of those issues that I just gave you.
Okay, Mike, I might want to think 5 years out or 25 years out, but I may not know how to do that. Are there some keys that you can offer that would help people to think in that way, in that long term?
Yes, I want to tell you a little story which changed the way that I think about things. I read a book called Competing for the Future by Prabhu and Hamill in 1994, at a time when I was trying to think about the future of my own financial services business. And in that book, the authors suggested that I ought to ask my staff what the future would be how the future would be different. Something I'd never done before, but kicked myself that I hadn't thought about it. So I asked the staff how the future would be different, and I asked them what they would do about it. And the answers were staggering. And it may seem quaint now, but at the time they said, well, the post-room told me that the internet would be big, and I hadn't even thought about the internet, didn't know what it was, and nor did my management team. It set us on a new path. So I think that many companies these days engage their staff in thinking about the future, one, to get information, but two, to encourage their staff to think about it, because all people think about the future, and the staff particularly do know what's happening and can start to plan for the future. And that's extending itself now beyond the staff to suppliers and shareholders, etc., etc. So companies are becoming much more adept at being able to ask their stakeholders great questions about where the world is going and what they should be doing about it.
So, Mike, clearly all organizations can become better, first of all, about asking questions in the first place to their staff and stakeholders and so on. But they can also become more clever about the questions they ask. But is that enough? Do we not need to go beyond that to helping people to think through so that they can give more intelligent answers to questions? I mean, if you think of a simple thing like we are all involved in holidays and we all go about planning our holidays, do we actually think about our holidays as intelligently as we should? Or let's take a step back from that and ask a different kind of question. Are holidays positioned at the right time of year? Clearly, in Europe, long holidays are the summer holidays, which is a stupid time to have holidays. The right time to have holidays would be the winter. Long holidays should be in the winter, because that's the best time to get away from Europe. Summer is the best time to be in Europe. Why do we have the long holidays in the summer? Because we used to be an agricultural society in Europe, and that was the logical time to have it then, not now. The point I'm driving at is old wisdoms, old institutions, old ways of doing things get established and themselves become the barrier to thinking in new ways, or indeed to thinking at all.
I'm reminded of the fact that many of the people in UBS will remember that before Sony there was no Walkman and music was not mobile. Sony did that without finding out whether the customers wanted mobile music. They broke the paradigm. And I think that one of the key processes that forward-thinking organizations use is to take the information that they get from their various